Hello students. Here is a video for the word inherent for the level 1 word. Inherent means natural or basic or something that's basically true. So here is the sentence with literature. Herman Melville. Herman Melville was a famous writer, and he wrote a famous book called Moby Dick. And in his book, part of what he does is he asks the question of whether a whale has the inherent capability to be evil. So in that book, there's one of the main characters is a ship captain who is chasing this whale because the whale bit his leg, and so he wants to catch that whale, and he says this whale is evil. So there's a question of, can a whale, es una ballena, es que una ballena puede ser malo? Or, is nature bad or not? So inherent means like basic, natural. Does a whale have a natural capability to be evil? Or are only people evil? That's one of the things that he asks in the book. So here is the definition of inherent. Again, pronunciation is inherent. Remember that the end is rent, just like paying the rent for a house or an apartment. Inherent, that's how you pronounce it. Rent at the end. So notice this is a mistake that people make a lot. People often think that this word, inherent, people think of it and they get mixed up with a different word, which is inherit. Inherit, which is spelled like this. This is a completely different word, this one. It's a verb and it means heredar. And esa palabra heredar is a completely different word. That is not the word you're looking at on this card. The word on this card is inherent, this one. And here is a definition again for that. It's an adjective, and it means that is a basic or permanent part of somebody or something and that cannot be removed. So another way of saying that is natural, like natural in Spanish, or natural in English too. So it's something that's basic, that's permanent, that's natural, and you can't change it. That's what it means. And it's an adjective. It describes, so it would describe a characteristic of something. So I'll show you some sentences with this in a minute. This is a hard word, so I made several different sentences with it, so I hope you get it. Spanish translations, inherente is the most, the Spanish version of this word. Innato, also, y natural. And if you don't know those two, think about this one. And word families inherently, and you might know that ly is an adverb ending. It's the same as mente in Spanish. So that's a word family for this word. Some synonyms for inherent: innate, built-in, or deep-rooted. And some antonyms are learned or extrinsic. Those are the opposites. So learned is the opposite because inherent is natural. It's like something that if a person already had that like when they were born and they didn't have to learn it. It was not necessary to learn it. They already knew it naturally if it's inherent. So I'll give you an example of that. And we'll see here some different common ways that this word is used. So here is one. We can talk about somebody's personality. So no matter what happens in life, her inherent positive outlook never changes. So that means this is a person who has a positive feeling about life. This is an optimista, and this person has an inherent positive outlook which never changes. And what does that mean? That means that that person is always positive, and that's a basic natural thing about that person. This person is always positive, no matter what happens in life. That's what that sentence means. Okay? So basic, so here we have positive outlook. Outlook is like attitude, como actitud. And so inherent positive outlook means that her positive outlook is not temporary. It's not temporary. It's not for just one time. It's permanent, and it does not change. Inherent positive outlook never changes. And so what is the word inherent doing right there? It's describing her positive outlook. It's saying that her positive outlook is basic, is natural, and never changes. Okay, so the next sentence I have, same definition, but another example of this would be with science. So inherent can also be used for science. So we can say water's boiling point of 100 degrees Celsius at sea level is an inherent characteristic of water. So we use the word inherent a lot with characteristic. Característica natural innato que nunca cambia, right? So that is true that water at sea level, of course, if you go up on a mountain, it has a different boiling point. But, hey Rachel, I'm making a video here. You gotta be quiet, okay? On a mountain, it's a different temperature, but at sea level, the boiling point of water is always naturally 100 degrees. So boiling point is the temperature at which water will boil. Can you go over there for a minute, Rachel? I'm still making my video. So that's an inherent characteristica básica natural of water. So that could be a way to make a sentence, is to think about the word characteristic and talk about an inherent characteristic. Here is another sentence with inherent about a famous person. This is a famous person that you probably heard of. This is Mozart, right? Who was a very famous classical music composer, de música clásica, and he was a musician, and he was very good at music, and he was so good at music that he had inherent musical talent, which means he didn't really have to learn. He was already at age 3, he was writing music that is still played by professionals today, that's still famous. And if someone can do that at age 3, we could say he had inherent talent, un talento innato. He did not really need to learn how to be good at music. He was already good at music basically when he was born. So we can use the word inherent to describe the word talent. So again, we can say inherent characteristic, we can say inherent talent, or the first one was we can say inherent for a personality trait. So we could say inherent positive outlook, inherent negative outlook, inherent something like that, right? Or talent or characteristic. Those are 3 ways that inherent is often used. And okay, that's it for the word inherent. And I will stop my video because my daughter needs some attention. But thank you very much for paying attention and watching today. Please, if you have questions, let your teacher know, because I know this is a little bit challenging word, but I hope that this helps. And let's go quickly back to the first sentence again. So now that we saw the definition, the inherent capability to be evil means natural capability, capacidad, capability is another way you can say this, inherent capability to be evil, which would mean that, again, this is saying, can a whale be like born evil? Like that's what it's saying. Like a natural, can a whale, una ballena, be inherently evil? And so, yeah, what is not inherent? Things that are not inherent could be, I don't know, if your hairstyle, right, of a person. If you cut your hair, that is not inherent because you can change it. You can keep changing it. On the other hand, things like the height of an adult at least, is inherent because when somebody is an adult, they stay the same height. Pretty much, maybe when they get very old, they start to get shorter. But otherwise, your height is inherent. Where, like, as I said, your hairstyle is not. So that's another example that I use a lot with this word. I hope that makes some sense. Thank you very much.